One thing that will return, well, hopefully will return as soon as it's safe to do so, is the Premier League. April and May dates have been postponed. Of course, talking Premier League darts, obviously all's well for Premier League football. The next Premier League darts now scheduled for 30th of July in Birmingham. What do you make of the now extended Premier League season that's going to go all the way into October?
I think this is what we expected, and when we spoke on our last show a few weeks ago now, we were talking about how important is it for the PDC to keep the Premier League going, keep the season at some point in the calendar, and we both said that it's a big money spinner for the PDC, and the crowds that they get for the Premier League, of course, is shown on Sky Sports all around the world, but how many people are turning up to these events and the prize money that's on offer, it was right up there in terms of importance for them to make sure that they could get dates. And looking at the calendar now, all the rescheduled dates, really, as you said there, the next one's not until the 30th of July, which seems a long time away. Glenn Durrant's going to lead the Premier League for a long time without playing. But looking at what they've done, I think they've done as good a job as they could, really. They couldn't really push it into June. I think that would still be a little bit early, and maybe July is a little bit early, so they've pushed it right until the end of July. But looking at the calendar now, the rescheduled one, I think it's nice that they've been able to keep it on that formula of having it on the Thursday. Obviously, they've got the double header in Rotterdam, which is Wednesday, Thursday, but keeping it on that Thursday time slot, which everyone's used to. But I think also what's been a good part of it as well is, for the most part, you've got it week after week. You've got it on that regular format, if you like, whereas Premier League Thursday after Thursday after Thursday. I think there's only two times now in the calendar where there's a 2-week break, and that's July the 30th, the first one back, and then Belfast the 13th of August, there's that fortnight break, and then Newcastle October 1st to October 15th, the finals night now in Sheffield, where they've got a 2-week break. So from that respect, it's good. And we'll see what's going to happen now with the Premier League. It's a long time now, but hopefully we'll see some darts before that July the 30th. And by the sounds of it, with Barry Hearn, the players are going to be busy now playing darts at home.
Yeah, and I'm in agreement there. And I think the one event the Premier League, well, other than the World Championships, that the PDC could not afford to lose is the Premier League, because of how much of a cash cow it really is. And it brings in money not just to the PDC, but also to the PDPA to stage the Pro Tour. And having the extended season, besides the fact that it allows Glenn Durrant to set a record for most days on top of a table in one Premier League campaign, because he's going to be on top for at least 4.5 months, and no campaign's ever even been that long. So congrats to Durrant for setting a PDC record. But beyond that, it does increase the chance that we'll be able to have these events, and not just have these events, but have them with some crowd there. It's going to be tough to imagine we're going to be able to have full crowds anytime before the autumn anywhere. And it seems a bit weird, and how you're going to have to decide who gets to keep their tickets and who will have get reimbursed to be able to use them next year is going to be a logistical nightmare in and of itself. But at least there's now a chance, by having this calendar out, that we might be able to have a decent-sized crowd there, and maybe even by the end of the season be able to have full crowds for the playoffs. It's also going to be good that we're going to get to see the playoffs try a new venue. The O2, of course, is a great venue for it, not just because of its size, not just because of its centrality, but also its iconic stature as one of, if not the big arena in Britain, right up there with any others. Now it's going to go to Sheffield, and maybe this will lead to it moving around, seeing other places not just get to say you can host Premier League, but you can host the final, and eventually maybe we'll see the final even next year or the following year go to the Netherlands or Germany to have the playoffs somewhere else. I think this is a good testing site for that, to see how it works somewhere else. And I could see that start to be something that moves around. Maybe even in the future, if this works out, have the Premier League finals move to August and have it in Australia one year. Wouldn't that be something? Definitely something that could be on the radar if this works out. So I think having the extended schedule, it was necessary, but it also gives them a chance to experiment, even if it's just in little ways like that, that might have a long-term impact on the sport.